Alright, winner bracket final. Another best of 3 series in the third qualifier for Meta Madness. And we got the Raiders going up against the Saboteurs. Okay, let's see which team is able to pull through to the grand final and which team will still have to make a small appearance in the losers bracket. Now, again, we have 12 heroes that are fully banned. So the upgrade from qualifier 2 to qualifier 3 was that 4 additional heroes are now banned as well. And that is Tracer, Lucio, Sergeant Hammer, and Abatha. Which means that after the first map, there's 22 heroes already unavailable. Since, of course, heroes that get played cannot be played again in the same series. So, as is, winner bracket, best of 3. Saboteurs had to go through the Akatsuki, so it was pretty rough game for that. Well, not really rough game, but I mean, honestly, it went to the last map, and even there it was close, so it was not a given that they would make it, but they pulled through this time, and now they go up against the Raiders, who of course would love nothing more but to make it to another grand final. So we'll see which one of these two teams is going to be successful. This is qualifier number 3. The tournament itself, the playoffs, we have $2,000 of prize money on the line, fully financed by myself here. So put up the prize money since we don't have a sponsor for this for the end of the year tournament. And yeah, let's hope that we're going to get some more good action. The first 2 qualifiers were awesome. The third one had some really nice games already too. And yeah, would love to see some good picks as well on this one. Now, obviously, as I already explained, we're going progressively from one tournament to another, and we're increasing the number of pre-bans depending on sub goals on the Twitch channel. So we can assume that for qualifier number 4, there's going to be some additional bans coming in. How many, we'll see, but maybe we're going to get another 2, maybe 3. Time will tell. Either way, it's already quite obvious that with just those 4 additional heroes being banned, teams are already having to adjust their drafts to that quite a lot. Particularly when you're thinking about how many times Sergeant Hammer was played or banned in the second qualifier, how many times we've seen Lucio, for example. So yeah, definitely something to consider there. One of the things that obviously happens automatically whenever you're playing with these particular Meta Madness rules is also that you can take heroes away from your opponent. And that's exactly what they're now doing with them picking Maiev. They know that Rutsu is a monster with Maiev, with Karrigan and a lot of other picks. So them taking Maiev first now for Swamgrota gives them a very good start into the draft, but at the same time also removes Maiev from the pool for the remainder of the series. And that makes, I mean, Rutsu maybe not necessarily less dangerous, but it takes some of his favorite tools away from him. So we get Benny on Jojo, and we get Rhaegar for Yasu. But being in Dragon Shire, Urel is still up, Dehaka is still up, so 2 good side laners if you want one of them. We have Nano coming in with Chromium, going for one of his favorites, whereas Ixia locks in White Mane. Nice and early for the team. So, when it comes to bans, I mean, nobody has taken a side laner. Nobody has banned one. And, yeah. I would assume that we're going to get 2 out of Leo, Urel, and Dehaka. That's quite likely. The 2 out of the 3 are going to be chosen here, always assuming that we're not going to get any direct bans against them. But yeah. Alright. Sylvanas gets banned. Okay. So, let's set this one up. What are we getting? We still have Falstad available if you want to have some auto attack damage there. Cassia, of course, would be up if you really want to. Dino has played Zagara multiple times on Dragonshire already. If he's willing to go and do that against the Raiders, that is a very different question. But kind doubt it. Well, actually, I don't know. Against Maiev and against Chromie, it's a bit of a risk. I'm not sure if he's willing to really take that one. But they go for Bambi. Lunara is in and Urel gets taken. Sven could, of course, also be going for a bit of a curveball pick, particularly for the top lane. But the red team is now, for this first game, looking at their first 2. So, Dragonshire, ladies and gentlemen. What's it going to be? We still need a main tank for them. And we still need another damage source. That can be a melee hero too. They go Mal'Ganis and Sven for the side lane. with Samuro. There we go. We get the Samuro pick in game number 1 already. I like it. There's always a chance that it gets banned out later, so they picked that early. So we have Dragon Shire with Maiev, Samuro for the Raiders, and Rutsu, our final pick. Could have seen a Kerrigan at some point. I mean, I guess she's either going to be taken or banned as the series continues. But when we're talking about game number 1, needs to probably adjust a bit here. So what is Rutsu going to take? We're getting Zeratul. I'll take that. I take that 100%. So with that, let's jump in. Game number 1, the winner bracket final, the Saboteurs against the Raiders. Game number 1, series kicking off on Dragon Shire, and we get Yasuo and Rhaegar for the blue team. We got Bad Benny on Johanna, Rutsu on Zeratul, Dino Lunara, and Hazorps is playing Urel. Over on the right side on the map, what we get is Nano on Chromie. We have Johanna... Johan on Mal'Ganis. We have Johanna in the game, we have Johan in the game. X is playing White Main, Swam, Grotta, Maiev, and Sven is playing Samuro. Alright, so let's get the show on the road. Let's see what they can do here. Particularly, I'm interested to see a bit of Zeratul action. Always happy when we get Zeratul, and since he hasn't been part of the pre-bans or anything, I would assume that we're gonna get a lot more of him as those qualifiers continue. Second time today that we get him. Last time it was Bishops. And of course now the big question, how much of an impact can he have against that backline? Particularly talking of course about White Main, for example. Can he hunt down Samuro here? Has a bit of wave clear as well that he could utilize. And we get the Time Walker's Pursuit here on level 1. We get a bit of a doggy build for Rhaegar with a Feral Heart as his level 1 choice. And down at the bot lane, it's Bambi that dies first. So now Bambi is as dead as his mother. And that leaves us with first blood for the Raiders. And I'm going to be pretty happy about this. Raiders starting off strong. We got White Main also with Pity the Frail. And topside, Samuro is just whacking away against Hazorps with Urel. So late game, Samuro is definitely going to be quite interesting. But ooh, they really want him, don't they? So yep, they came in with Rutsu for that just a second. And Sven, he had to be careful. He's still flipping around quite quickly. As we have camps now taken by both teams, but it is the Raiders that went for the mercenary camp on the right side first. So this means that we have a chance to push through the top lane a bit. But of course, there's always some counter pressure that you can set up, and that's exactly what the Saboteurs are now doing. So coming in here, trying to take their own bruiser camp down at the bottom of the map. Control has already established, and I guess for at least a few seconds the Raiders are going to have full control over both of those shrines. Actually not quite. Zeratul has already retaken in the bottom of the map, and Samuro hasn't really contested it. Don't think that in this situation you could have gone for a big move anyways to try and sneak it in early. But yeah. So on the top and the bot lane, we're having some pressure being established by the teams here. Down at the bottom of the map, it's the two assassins that are going toe-to-toe with Samuro battling it out with Zeratul, and up at the top it was mostly a fight through those camps. But really nice timing on the camp from the Saboteurs. Helped them with defense. They didn't take a lot of damage on their own wall, and now they have a chance to push that out. Unless, of course, Bambi dies again. Dino is already going to get attacked over here, pushed into a corner once again, but they just cannot get that kill. They got close to it. Weren't quite there. Benny was hoping to sneak in the Dragonite, but topside was already denied. Obviously, you have to have a lot of control if you want to get a Dragonite here. Or you need an opponent that just for a short period of time at least is absolutely blanking on what you're doing, has a bit of a brain fart and doesn't react to anything. That's of course the other option. But with that, what we now have at the top is still another kill. And that is the Saboteurs coming in swinging as they take down Chromie. And now they have a 3 versus 2 in the lane too, so they could probably get some extra pressure in against Svamgrota. Don't think that it's going to lead to another kill for them, but that was already a good start. Taking Chromie out here helps. She's super annoying, getting the damage in from afar, keeping everybody at bay here. But it's just rotational plays from both teams right now, as everybody is trying to just win the Ring Around the Rosie game, maybe get the Dragonite, just because the opponent isn't fast enough in the way that they're moving on the map. The one thing that surprises me a bit, if anything, is that we do not have a single global on this map. We've seen a lot of false stats here now lately. We've seen also a ton of Dehaka and even ETCs with stage dive, and we have none of that right now. So pretty interesting to see that. And we get a... Whoa, Rutsu! Oh, that could not have happened half a second later. Real problem for him. Yeah, Bambi gets denied in the middle and also down at the bottom of the map. But damn, Zeratul getting out of that was clutch. 40 HP or something along those lines. So yeah, not a whole lot. Again, double control for them. But they want to have a kill down here at the bottom of the map, I suppose. Trying to get Rega destroyed. Yeah, Tether isn't there. Lunara is guarding the middle, but down at the bottom of the map, they got to be super careful. It's a 4 versus 3, and with Chromie doing the damage, exactly that can happen. Jojo moved straight into the last hit and gets murdered. That's 2 kills to 1 for them. So, with that, we now have also on the stacking count 12 stacks for level 1 on Zeratul's side, and we have the Way of Illusion with 34 stacks for now. Yeah, 2 kills to 1 still, but that lead gives them an early level 9, maybe half a level lead even, if they are able to establish this a little bit further. Get the camp, Tether hits, there's the ult from Chromie, and they get Zeratul. Guys, the Raiders. The Raiders are gaining momentum over here. They're taking Zeratul out, that's their 3rd kill. They destroy the camp quickly, and now they have double control once more on those shrines, which forces the blue team's hand in an attempt to deny the Dragonite to them. So they are doing a great job on this one. Yeah, might even get a Dragonite here. I mean, Johan is trying. The level 10 that they are facing off against is a real problem. So now they have to catch up in experience, which they're currently desperately trying to do. And they don't need a lot of time on this, but it might just be enough to get the Dragonite. Nice shield by Benny, but the disc is already out, and they deny one of the shrines. But Benny might die for this. Benny might die, tries to get out, and is able to get away. Alright, good job by the Saboteurs. That was not all that easy to deny the Dragonite here. With level 10 in the hands of your opponent, they had to be super careful. And they pulled it off. So now we have the Might of the Narazim, we have Thornwood Vines, Bambi is already getting tethered and nearly getting killed. Dino is still able to get out, but he's been a prime target throughout all of this. The Raiders, they love venison. I mean, they're Raiders, right? So they come in, they want the meat, they want the beef, and they want some nice venison also to chuck all of this down. So, more meat. Yeah, Butcher went, by the way. I mean, qualifier number 5, playoffs, but at some point, they gotta step it up, these teams, a bit. We need the Butcher. Fresh meat. Oh. So, yeah. But okay, we got the timeout. Chromie is obviously ahead of her time, as usual. So we're gonna see what she's gonna get for us there. But the blue team still, I mean, not really too far behind here, not trailing too hard, but it feels like they're a little bit on the back foot. So a nice attack at the top, at least this time against Sven. Hoping they get the kill, and they do! Nice! Executed by Zeratul. So Rutsu is slowly starting to gain a bit of momentum with the Zeratul plays. Takes out Samuro. 2 kills to 3 now. Both nearly on level 12. And maybe now also a chance to take some of these towers down. Bambi is down at the bottom of the map. They can't hold on to the top just yet. But it allows for some extra plays to be made in the middle where they take another tower apart. Maybe even more than that. I mean, this entire gate is already in trouble. And the tower down here too. So yeah, it's really nicely done by the Saboteurs. So they brought it back after falling behind on level 10. Now they're maybe even pulling ahead a bit, with Rhaegar taking the camp down to the bot lane. So once that they have that bruiser camp, if they claim it, I mean, if they can take this one, and they might not be able to, they would have had a chance to go for the fort here. But they're actually threatening the Dragonite for just a moment. Samuro is still fighting with Yrel up at the top, but if he's the only one, Lunara dies and they lose the opportunity for a Dragonite. It seems like they were hoping to keep Lunara on the bottom shrine long enough so that they can get the DK and sacrifice her. But Dino now died for the 2nd time, and it seems like it didn't die for a reason, because they couldn't hold on to any of this. So now we have 13 on both sides. And I gotta say, the Raiders, they are doing really well. I love how close they are now to a lot of these top teams. They struggled for a long time to break into the top 4, and these days now it is a much more even battle between them. I would still say they are the underdog in the series, but it is obviously a much closer call than it was, let's say, half a year or a year ago. So, for now, with level 13 talents, we also get the greater spell shield for Lunara. Chromie is under control of the bottom. They go into the middle again with maybe even a blessed shield. I mean, it's still available, so they could try and throw it out. But it's mostly just trying to control the lanes. The Bermuda Triangle over there. Jojo has to be careful that she doesn't disappear in it. Gets disked, and yes, maybe the chance. Yasuo is close though. Yasuo can drop the Ancestral. He himself becomes the target, and I think Yasuo just outmaneuvered himself. Has to drop the Ancestral after all. Not on Joanna, but on himself. So, that didn't really work out too well. Lunara has taken some control down at the bottom. But we're 10 minutes in and we haven't seen a Dragonite yet. I mean, this objective is getting delayed further and further. 10 minutes in! Not a single objective at this point. So, yeah. They are doing what they can to prevent that from happening. But this also means that the first one is going to be a lot more impactful than what you would usually see on this one. So, yeah, the attacks are still happening here. Still trying to make their plays as they're going for control at the top once again. And let's see how deep they can go with this. Down to the bottom of the map, obviously. Dino's already pushing there. Svamgrotta is still sitting tight. And now that they have 2 shrines controlled, there's a chance for the Dragonite for the red team. It's the Raiders that are really pushing this. And they have the early level 16 talent again, which is going to help them a lot. So what, on the other hand, the Saboteurs have to do is rotate around. We got the Harsh Discipline in. We got Lashing Out as well. Top side. Oh, Samura has to swap out. They're buying time. I mean, as long as they're buying themselves a bit more time so that they can farm some of these waves and get to level 16 and make sure that the red team doesn't run that talent advantage over them, it's all going to be fine here. Sven also is taking this a bit slower, so there's plenty of time available. And with that, they're now going for the Master Warp Blade. We also got Hunger of the Wolf, and the pressure at the top lane is still there. So they're trying to at least keep Samuro a little bit low. But it is just fascinating to me how we haven't had a Dragonite yet, how there's not really that much momentum going. There's a bit for the Raiders, which helps them to at least keep up the appearance of a lead. But just generally, I gotta say, this could flip any moment, or at least that's what it feels like. So there's the disc again against Benny. Dino's trying to slow them down a bit. Benny might be in trouble. Ancestral is available if needed. Not needed just yet, but another move, and there's the cleanse to make sure that Benny is able to move out from this. But look how much Lunara is able to do here in the meantime. She's really chunking them down. And while this happens, up at the top, they're going for the fort. So yes, a lot of time wasted by the Raiders down at the bottom of the map. They didn't get anything, they didn't get a kill, and it allowed Urel and Zeratul to go for the play at the top. And they go for Sven. They want Sven here, and they might be able to get him, and yes, they do. So Samuro is dead once more. The chase is on as the red team is trying to take the Siege Giants down here, and they're able to do it. Another disc is out. I mean, time and time again, Svamgrotta is making the plays here. This time the Ancestral is needed and is thrown out immediately by Yasu, but now the rotation is coming, and they are going to clean house here. So yes, they're going to take down Rega. Well, Rega is down. What about the red team? They're not losing anybody. Svamgrotta is finally dead. Zeratul is going to get the kills. Goes for another one. Rutsu is still alive here. And yep, they took down 4. The only survivor is Mal'Ganis. Lots of damage done at that bottom fort, of course. But this is the opportunity to finally go for the Dragonite. And it seems like Mal'Ganis also had a death wish. So he is dead too. Mal'Ganis down. Big fight, big hits. And yep, Rega might have been the first one to fall. But after that, the entire red team got destroyed. And that puts the blue team into the lead with an entire level. They're also taking the fort down at the bottom of the map. And they're moving into the middle to destroy another one. Urel, the only one that hasn't fallen yet in this game. So, great fight. Really well executed by the Raiders. It all started with a kill against, I suppose, at the top lane, Sven and Samuro. as he was taken out. But this was big. This was huge. I mean, look at the lead in experience alone. That's nearly 1.5 levels. They're looking at level 20 any second. So all of the forts are all of a sudden destroyed on the red team side. And that's something that you can definitely build on. So, nicely done. With the 16 talents also, press the attack. We got Blind as a Bat over here. The accelerated contamination and the Templar's Verdict, as usual. But this is definitely huge. And you can already tell they're trying to force the fight here, and for good reason too, of course, because they wanted to do that before level 20 hits. And now we have first of all Forest Draft, which is annoying, Shadow Strike 2, and they're flanking it immediately. I mean, this is the dream. You want to force that level 20 fight, of course you do. Samuro is trying to take the camp, so he's not even helping the team. They're realizing they can't really fight this, so the only goal is to disengage, and they won't be able to do that. Samuro at least takes the camp away, I suppose, but they're losing Chromie in the process. Nano is gonna fall. Samuro took the camp, and now it's a question of whether or not they're gonna be able to go for the keep here. Because their own fort is likely gonna fall to this. This is the problem that they are facing off on the left side. But particularly with Forest's Wrath now, and all the poke that they got from the distance, they might be able to make a play here. Now, it is a 4 versus 3. It's not a guarantee that you're taking this, and Rhaegar is dead again. Rhaegar threw out the Ancestral, and it hit, but it didn't save him. And Samuro comes for Hazu. Hazu is low, and this is the Raiders bringing the fight back and killing Zeratul, I suppose. Zeratul probably not... is he able to get out? I don't think so. Nope, they knew exactly where he would end up again. Covered both spots, and that is a double kill for the Raiders. I'm pretty impressed. I mean, given the early level 20 talent for the Saboteurs, I did not think that they would be able to take 2 of their heroes out. And they killed 2. So they got 2 kills fairly quickly, have now level 20. Structurally, different story. Haven't taken a fort out yet. Shrine is up, of course, in just a second, so it's all about buying time now, I suppose. Rhaegar's down for another 8 seconds, 28 for Zeratul. So maybe a chance to get a Dragonite. But, yeah, Yrel still buying as much time as she possibly can on this one. And Rhaegar is back, at least. So Rhaegar is back, and with Yrel getting some assistance from Lunara, they get the push going up here. And again, staggered death against Jojo is of course bad news. And yes, Jojo is likely gonna fall here. Jojo goes down, she's eliminated. Samuro is defending the top, but that's now a 5 versus 4 for an entire minute. For 1 full minute. Yeah, that is gonna be tough. If they get follow-up kills here, oh boy. Zeratul is using his mobility to go down to the bottom of the map and buy them a bit of time. They want to avoid the Dragonite. It's 8 kills to 8 now. Top side still pressuring a bit, but it's the Bridge of Death. There should be little that happens here. And yeah, Samuro is already, Zeratul is already moving back. And kinda has to, of course. Samuro also kept the copy up over here. They're trying to take that down quickly. Yasuo is still hiding. And they're buying themselves enough time to bring Johanna back, I suppose. Yeah, Johanna is going to be back. So as long as they don't lose anybody here, it's going to be another big team fight that will likely decide the outcome of the next objective, which could potentially be also deciding the first game. So yeah, double control for the red team. Yeah, they could get the Dragonite, and they will if they want it. Blue team thought they could get a kill, and they messed it up. So now it is a Dragonite, and maybe Lunara dies here. No, maybe she doesn't. Lunara is still alive. Dragonite might join the fun, and Bambi is gone. Ancestral came out too late. Dragonite is already pushing for the fort. They destroyed the one at the bottom. Now they're going to go for the one in the middle. The Raiders are bringing it back. They're really bringing it back here. The Ancestral hits, and the second one is a bit too late. Too much burst damage from the Raiders. They get 1, they get 2, they get 3 kills. 3 heroes eliminated and a Dragonite at the bottom of the map. They are looking all of a sudden just super strong here. They look really powerful on this. I mean, yeah, the dog getting killed there towards the end, getting put to sleep. And that, of course, ended then quickly the life of the support. There's no heal, no sustain. Zeratul is desperately trying to get some kills in the back to buy them more time. But they are looking for core. And I'm impressed. The Raiders, everybody, they're chasing Urel down a little bit, but this is definitely game. Lunara coming back is not going to save the day for them. So the 1-0 lead in this best of 3 series goes to the Raiders. They take down the Saboteurs in game number 1 and take the W on Shire. GG, well played.
So, a quick reminder before we're jumping into the second game of the series, guys. Once again, until the 8th of December, we have a cooperation going on with Raid Shadow Legends where you can support the stream for completely free. As you know, I'm hosting Meta Madness myself. I put the prize money up and everything. So if you guys want to support this a little bit, if you want to help me to host more tournaments like this in the future, you can now do that for free just by playing a game while you're actually watching the stream, for example, or while you're watching the VODs. There's a link in the description to Raid Shadow Legends. All that you gotta do is download the game and then play through the tutorial. And if you're extra generous with your time and you really want to help the stream, you can play the account to level 10 or play the account to level 25. That would even be better. We also have a clan. I'll link it in the description too if you guys want to check it out a bit more. Again, I've been playing the game for a while, but if you just want to support the stream a little bit, download the game through the link, play through the tutorial, and that would already help. So thank you very much. Thanks for listening and enjoy game number 2.
Okay, Towers of Doom, map number 2, and the Raiders have taken the lead. So there's an opportunity here for them to go to the grand final, to win the match point. Very curious. It's also kind of funny, I talked on in the stream about this, but every single time that we have a new map coming up, and it is incredibly reliably, Benny is always late. So again, after a series or after a map ends, teams have to then decide, okay, does the loser want to have first pick, first ban, and then the map has to be decided, the lobby has to be hosted. There's a little bit of time that goes into this, right? And Benny is late to every single map. Not by a lot, but always by a little bit. So I was just sitting here and thinking like, what can you possibly do between every single game that you're always a bit late there? And I thought maybe he has the smallest bladder in the world and he's just running to the bathroom every single time. I even asked him in the lobby and Hazu just said that he thinks it's none of that. Hazu's just said, yeah, I think he's just brain AFK or something. So basically every single time that the game ends, Benny just sits in front of his PC and his screen and goes, oh, oops, lobby invite. So yeah, I'm not quite sure what it is, but it's still kind of interesting. Towers of Doom was chosen by the Raiders and they are now the ones banning out Dehaka. And then it is Hazu's team that bans the Viking. I mean, Hazu's team bans the Vikings. Usually it's the other way around. People ban the Vikings against him. But yeah, in this case, they are respecting Sven a bit. His Samuro game already annoyed them, I suppose. And I'm still impressed by the Raiders that they were able to win this one. So yeah, good on them. Zarya gets banned. They don't want to be put into an awkward position here. One of the things that we've seen the last time was an early Garrosh pick, and here it is again for Benny. So Zarya would have been a real concern. Potentially, at least. Yeah, I'm really curious. Imagine the Raiders winning this with a 2-0. Despite the fact that they've been doing a great job in the last few qualifiers, you just look at this and you are automatically gravitating towards the blue team. I mean, again, Hazu, Dainu, Benny, Rutsu, Yazu. Just the names alone, when you read that, you're just like, uh-oh. And well, when I think, I think about ETC here. On the one hand, I like that ETC gets played a bit more lately. On the other hand, I'm always a bit concerned because he's just still on the squishy side. On the one hand, I want to advocate that at one point in the future we're getting an actual balance patch from Blizzard. Maybe a Christmas present for 2025, like I don't know. On the other hand, I am just super afraid that they would just screw it up. But I would love for them, not even just rebalance. Blizzard always went into this thing where they rebalanced everything. They had to. They always thought they had to go for these massive new gestures, introduce new talents, completely retrain a hero. All they gotta do is really just like tweak a couple of the numbers on the talents that are not getting picked a lot, and on the heroes that are not getting picked a lot. A little bit more health here, a little bit more damage there. Nothing crazy. But if they would do this approach, and by the way, they've been told to do this by all the pro gamers over and over and over again, and they are just totally incapable of using a bit of common sense here. You don't have to redesign a hero all the time, but just like tweak a couple of the talents, make some things a little bit more appealing, and then see where that gets you. And if you don't have a lot of success with that, then yes, eventually you can come in with a redesign. But it would be nice to just see some of the heroes just getting a little bit of a boost on some of their numbers. Not much more than that. And it could help to make some of them much more viable. An example that I always gave is Arthur's and his Frostburn build. You could make the stack damage a bit higher and see if that translates into him actually becoming a bit more of an appealing bruiser to people. But obviously the same principle applies to every other hero that is underplayed. You don't ever want to overdo it and come in, but incremental changes can always help a lot with that. And that is a lesson that Blizzard never really learned, unfortunately. But it could make things interesting. Now, with Medivh banned, we get Ana and we get Rexa on towers. That leaves us with Svamgrotta as the final pick, which is already interesting to me. They have picked his hero first a lot. I wonder if they're thinking... I mean, again, you could play Kerrigan at some point too. So can Rutsu. So is one of the two teams thinking about doing exactly that now? Well, we get Li Ming. You got Misha over there too. And we get Tyrande again. Alright, so Kerrigan or not Kerrigan? What is Svamgrotta going to play now? I mean, I personally am advocating for Svamgrotta's Murky, but we haven't seen that in a hot minute, and teams don't respect that anymore. It's exactly the moment, you know, when they want to put the fear of Murky back into their hearts. But if they can get on Tyrande, they might be able to get a kill or two. Yeah, there's a lot of squishies on the blue team, on the red team side. And they go for Jaina. Nano boosted Jaina. Alright. Super intrigued. Let's see if they can pull it off. Towers of Doom, everybody. The Raiders with the match point against the Saboteurs. Game number 2, match point number 1 for the red team. On the left, we got Rutsu on Li Ming, Yasu on Tyrande, Dino on Junkrat, Hazop's playing Leoric, and Bad Benny on Garrosh. The blue team, they need to win 2 in a row if they want to make it into the grand finals through the winner's bracket. If not, then they have to take a bit of a detour and try their luck again in the loser's bracket. But we now have the Raiders with Sven on Rexa, Ixia on Ana, Svamgrotta on Jaina. Johan is playing... I was about to say Johan is playing I. But yeah, so he's on ETC, and we have Nano on Sylvanas. And I think there might be a problem with Nano. At least they paused the game. It was actually Hazo that paused the game here. So is Benny again AFK? He's already trailing a little bit, okay? We talked about this during the draft, but apparently Benny is a little bit brain AFK on these things. And the fact alone that he's currently the only one who's not storming through that gate immediately already lets me to believe that there might be a bit of an issue with Benny. So, I don't know. Somebody has to be... somebody has to check on Benny, please. Something's not okay. He doesn't have it anymore only between maps, but now he also has the same problem right at the beginning of the game. It would already worry me a bit. Grenade build for Ana. We got the Prog Rogue on level 1 for ETC. And yeah, let's see what they're going to walk away with here. But I am impressed by the Raiders, to say the least. And I really want to see if they can now pull off a 2-0 victory of the Saboteurs. I'm going to bring it back. Alright, so apparently Benny had to restart his PC because he was lagging. I mean, Hazo already suggested a little bit of brain lag earlier, but apparently, yeah, there's definitely some issues going on there. Either way, they're insta-losing Misha. Alright. Okay, let's see how this is going to play out for them. But with Benny back to business and apparently things working as intended again, we are at least good to continue the game here. So right now we got the Austin's Renewal on level 1. And obviously everybody is already starting to position a bit between the two lanes. And where it's going to become very interesting is the 1 minute mark, when we're going to find out if one of the teams is aggressively trying to go for the opponent's pumpkin camp, or if they are just going to, yeah, take their own camp, ignore the opponent, they're going to be fine around this. So, yeah. But again, down at the bottom of the map, Jaina is already getting a bit attacked here, or is about to. Benny is sitting at the side, wants to go for the Dreadlord, and gets her. And there's... Oh, well, actually doesn't. ETC came in and nearly got the slides done. That could have been problematic for Benny, considering that he was still in tower range, and Jaina was also saying hello. Yeah, Svamgrotta They were bantering also a bit about how the Raiders with the sub seem to be just absolutely unbeatable. But in this case, yep, there it is. The Raiders again with a bit of a lead. Dodging out on the combo. Okay. Junkrat. Anna wants the kill on Junkrat. Dino. Anna is dead. Oh my god. Greeting too hard. And then Junkrat gets saved. And they're still going for him. They still want Dino, but they can't get him here. Now, while they are pushing, though, still bot lane, we have a chance to take that wall apart a bit. I have to admit, though, that it's kind of funny the way that this was currently playing out, and Anna dying there was also pretty entertaining. So maybe a bit too eager by Ixir here to get the kill. He got very close, though. The damage over time nearly did the trick, but dying in the process definitely didn't help. So Triumvirate as the level 4 choice for Li Ming. We also got Possession for Sylvanas. We have the Hunter-Gatherer for our boy Rexa. And they are going for Hazorps again with a bit of extra damage. Obviously, one of the big advantages of running Tyrande in this game is that they can now also interrupt the channel on an altar fairly reliably with the owls, and that is more than a little bit annoying, particularly when you're talking about triple altar phases. Really slows the opponent down a lot, and I think that Yasuo is going to use that. The problem is still that she is very squishy, so if Rexa gets on her, if maybe ETC is able to move in and they're unleashing some burst damage, then there's still a good chance that they're taking Tyrande down early, so she needs to be super careful there as well. Globe Talents, again, get used by both of them. We got the proc rock in. Rutsu, one power slide and she is dead. Yeah, no way! Rutsu is sometimes going for escapes that are just out of this world. Absolutely insane. They go for ATC now. Red team is going to lose Johan. They at least got 2 altars, but this is now 2 kills to 2. And with the resets, they are aiming for Nano and they want another one. Svam Grotta eats a lot of the damage there, but it's still impressive to me how Rutsu always seems to be surviving. Some of the escapes that we've seen today alone are just bonkers. Absolutely bonkers. So a quick drain from Hazorps, and Misha comes in to save the day. Level 7 talents for both, and it gives us Calamity again. Also with the Ice Shard build, we have Ice Lance after the Arcane Intellect and the Winter's Reach. And yeah, winter is definitely starting to reach a little bit. Thankfully not too far into Spain just yet. Still pretty nice weather over here, but all the reports that I'm getting from the northern parts of Europe is just like, no, thank you. I was actually thinking of maybe going for another trip for, you know, for Christmas, visit some Christmas markets. And then I hear about the temperatures and I'm just like, yeah, maybe not. I was like, yeah, on the one hand, obviously associate that with Christmas. On the other hand, I was just like, do I really need this in my life right now? Freezing my butt off. How about no? Maybe not. So, level 8 on both sides. Bit of a chase happening against Rexa for just a second, but the altars are now spawning in 20. And it's a single altar now. Still a camp that they want to claim. Some Grotta has, of course, a bit of a burst thanks to his combo, and yeah, goes for it. And they have to take it quickly if they really want it. Johan there might be in danger as well. And they're now not getting anything, are they now? Nice dodge, at least, on the stun, is able to move away from it. But this is really the big problem that they're having. They are not in a position where they can deal with this too easily. They are losing out on the altar. Now they might even lose the camp. Quick flip from Benny over the wall, and ETC can't do anything. Even has gone for his level 4 talent, so he can slide through terrain here. But none of this is doing anything. So they might have the lead in experience right now, but the Raiders are still... I mean, struggling is the wrong word. It's 32 against 32, even experience. It just feels that some of those fights are a bit difficult for them to take. ETC is more of an engaged tank, is a bit squishy, so if you're just playing a poke battle the entire time, then it can get rough. Next altar phase has 2. There's a lot of displacement here for the Saboteurs. They have Garrosh, they got Junkrat, so lots of tools that they can use. Depends all on how the Raiders are able to play this. They have an early level 10, not that they can do anything with it. The time frame or the window is way too small, and now both teams have access to it. So yeah, ETC still looking to potentially set a mosh pit up, but I don't really see it happening. On the ults, I mean, how many interrupts do we actually have against the mosh pit here? I guess we have 1, 2, 3. It's too many. Too many to really get easy value out of it. You might be able in one of those choke points to get a monster mosh or just isolate a single hero, but yeah. I mean, either way, as is, we are currently looking at the rotation towards the top. And let's see if they can do a little bit more on this one. Right now we have still a play for Leoric being made. 2 kills to 2. Double ult. I mean, in this Alta phase, I really think they're just going to go for an even exchange. I don't really see them going for a super aggressive play. Maybe if Tyrande can interrupt it long enough for one team to get a significant lead, that could be a thing. But yeah, either way. Over here, it's already happening. Tyrande is likely going to interrupt. She didn't actually. So they interrupted. Damn, they're going for the double. They're trying to go for the quick double hit here. Johan in trouble, doesn't have a slide and dies. The question is simply, can they get a counter kill? Can they get a kill? And the answer is no. Instead, they're losing Jaina. Jaina, oh my god. Jaina gone, Sylvana's gone. They're getting absolutely rolled over here. Ixia is about to get destroyed too. Calamity hits and Rutsu is getting reset after reset after reset. The shots have now been fired, but damn. 28 points to 28, but those kills, they came in big. Nicely done. That's 6 kills to 2, and boy oh boy, that's an easy boss for them. Even with Misha sniffing it out, I do not think this is going to get contested. Nah, ETC is still at the bottom of the map. He's not going to be there in time. So yeah, they're going to take another 4. But that is rough. That one hurt a lot. Thankfully for them, no bell tower has been converted over. So that's the good news, I guess. But I am not so sure if they can easily recover from that. Because now they're talent behind. Again, only level 13 talent, but still. But this fight didn't look good for them. ETC has such an early pick, I am not sure. If you play him as a side laner, then yeah. But either way, they are now definitely on the back foot. So they have to somehow try and get this one back. 13 talents are mandatory to grab that first. And now they just have to try and get a good angle. The problem is that Benny has really been shielding the team very nicely. And this is exactly what happens the entire time. Displaced, displaced, displaced. Stun, 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 stun. And then they're going to get a kill. They're getting another kill. And they're just following up on it. Look at this Entomb. Look at this Entomb. They're getting slaughtered over here. Absolutely slaughtered. They got at least Li Ming, so they got 1 kill, but they traded for 3. And it's just not something that you can sustain. I mean, just look at this. ETC was the first one to fall, then they're going for Ana. At that point, the Entomb comes out, and even with the Nano boost that she dropped earlier, there's just absolutely no chance. So now we have Nano down here that is about to get crushed. Unless, wow, he might actually get away from this. But the shots are still fired, and of course both of these altars are going to the Raiders. So they're just looking way too strong here. Benny is channeling down at the bottom of the map. That's going to put them down to 16. And this is rough. They took the lead. They won game number 1, but the draft that we're now seeing for the Saboteurs is just a bit too good. Especially if they play it this well and they sync their abilities up the way that they do. It just feels that every time that ETC gets too close to the action, it just gets bounced around like a snooker ball and has no chance. He never really has an opportunity to go for a slide, go for an engage, go to set up that mosh pit or anything. So yeah, they are having some real issues. And once that the bell tower control starts to disappear, I think this is just going to exasperate the problem. They're losing this one, I mean, pretty much guaranteed soon TM. Johan is trying to do his best there, and with Sylvanas rotating over, they let it go for now, but level 16 is now so close. And of course that bell tower conversion at the bottom of the map is going to be super quickly a big problem for them. Because now it's a triple altar phase and you're down to 16 points. If you're losing 2, you're on a single digits. Yeah. And I would say that Li Ming is very, very likely going to make a move over there. Once that they have a chance. Now obviously there's way too many heroes just like waiting to move in from the side and try and take it down. So 20,000 damage for Sylvanas, 31,000 damage for Junkrat. Yep, there's the Entomb again, catching Ana. Ana in a bit of trouble. They're trying to bring it back. Quest completed for Jaina, and they get a kill. The Raiders, maybe not out of it yet, but they lost Ana again. They lost their support, but they're coming in for Yasu, and they are not able to. They get him. They get him finally, but they lost too many heroes in the process again. So it's a 2 versus 2 on the map now, and this game is just getting a bit bonkers. But look at this fight. I mean, it's crazy. They're losing their support. They're trying to get Tyrande, but the way that Tyrande positions is just too strong. So there's the interrupt against Dainu as he's trying to steal this one away. But already Li Ming has taken the one at the bottom of the map. Dainu is trying to get a kill against Johan. Might even be able to grab it. He himself jumps out, gets hit. 11 to 28 points on the core. And if Rutsu is just able to get one for the team, that's all that he has to do, and he does. So we're going to go down to the single digits for the Raiders. They are in some real trouble now. 6 points on the core against 25. Now, this obviously is still the comeback map, the biggest comeback map in the game. But the momentum that we've seen so far, it hasn't really changed. It's still heavily in the hands of the Saboteurs, despite the fact that in experience the Raiders are catching up a bit. They even retake that bell tower for what it's worth, but yeah, it's still a difficult game. It's a 5 versus 4 for now for the Raiders, so maybe a chance to steal a pumpkin camp away, maybe a chance to also pressure the bell tower at the bottom of the map a little bit. But the window was small. They used what they could, so now they have 6 pumpkins that are coming through. Maybe there's a chance to go for some bell tower conversion. Just look how quickly some of them are already disappearing. Oh my god! Junkrat just riptired them. Junkrat just said, alright, I'm gonna riptire the shit out of this. Gets the easy kills there, and well, that's that. 12 kills to 7. Looking at the experience and the damage, I mean, we have 43,000 for Junkrat right now, and that's only talking about his hero damage. He's at 105,000 siege damage. So, yep, pretty rough. Down to the bottom of the map, we now have a single altar in play as well. Not ending the game, but just imagine if the blue team gets this one too. Oh my god, no! This has happened so many times. ETC died 4 times already. That is just annoying as hell. ETC is gone. If they don't get a counter kill here, then they're more or less guaranteed to lose on that bell tower. But the Garrosh falls. The Raiders are not giving up. Raiders are not giving up. And yeah. With that, we now have another quick push coming. They're looking, of course, not only for the altar, but they're also hoping that with a quick entomb from Leoric, they can net themselves another kill. And with Jaina popping Ice Block, she's only delaying the inevitable as Junkrat comes in and takes her down again. So that's 1 kill, that's 2 kills. And this might just be the end, because there's not only an altar up, the boss is up too. They shouldn't even waste their time with that bell tower. All they gotta do right now is go for boss and go for the channel. 5-man team wipe. They sniped the entire team. Looking fantastic here. Shots are fired, putting them down to 2 points on the core. Now they go for boss. ETC knows it, of course he knows it. But it's level 20 talents against level 16 talents, and we're literally talking about a 1 versus 5 right now. It's literally a 1 versus 5. So, yeah, ETC comes in again, dies immediately. He came, he saw, he laubert. So, with that, we have a 3rd map in this series. Nicely done. Yeah, well played. We're going the distance on this one. We're going the distance on the winner bracket final. The Saboteurs lock in the victory on Towers of Doom. GG. Okay, game number 3, Sky Temple, everybody. Here we are, our final map. So, the Raiders looking good in game number 1. Game number 2, a bit of a different story. The Saboteurs came back with a vengeance, taking their opponents down pretty quickly there. And that's, yeah, like really nice plays being executed, obviously. Li Ming sometimes popping off with multiple resets. Tirana doing a great job assisting with that and also keeping herself alive here. ETC in particular did not have a good time. I mean, he really didn't. Now we're going Anuburak as our first ban. Obviously, now 32 heroes are unavailable, right? So every hero can only be played once within a series, meaning 20 heroes are not playable anymore because they have been played in game number 1 and game number 2. And we have the 12 bans right here. Those heroes are not available for the entire tournament. So, with that, we now have 32 heroes out of the hero pool before we're even starting the draft. And it will make things more interesting for Sky Temple. Whereas, we still have a couple of heroes available that were banned out earlier. So, for example, Vikings could technically still be played. I wouldn't mind. Maybe. You never know. Unless, of course, they get banned. Which I wouldn't put past both of these teams. So, yeah. Falstad is banned out, and, well, with that, we're also getting the ban over on the left side, the final one, and let's see what they're getting. Here. Arthurs? Alright, so they are banning Arthurs. Fair enough. I'm a little bit surprised to see that. It's not really the ban that I expected, but okay. Kind of curious to see what exactly they're going to walk away now with their first pick. Stitches is also still available, so Stitches is obviously a hero that you can pretty much play everywhere. Sky Temple, I haven't seen him that much, but Muradin is still up, and Neon is just sitting there as like, yo boys, if we have Muradin still up, I am totally fine just playing him. So, yeah. Okay, now, what are we getting on the blue team side? They're obviously the ones that would go for a full reverse sweep if they're able to also win Sky Temple. And we have seen Sky Temple now 3 times today, which is kind of bonkers to me, because in the tournaments before, have we even seen it? Honestly, I don't even know. I don't even remember. But there comes Rutsu's Kerrigan. Okay. Dehaka and Kerrigan. So we get both. We get again the CC chain that they're going for here. Kerrigan is able to... I mean, again, follow up on Dehaka's Tongue or vice versa, and once that they are starting to enable that, the only thing that they need behind is a good damage dealer, and that would help them to just crush through targets. Rutsu's Kerrigan is amazing to watch, and here come the Vikings. I love it. This is exactly what I was talking about a bit earlier, that on Sky Temple you could technically now play the Vikings as well, so I love that they do that. Zarya gets banned as an immediate result, because if you're playing with the Vikings, what you don't want your opponent to have is a very strong 4-man. And Zarya can pretty much help with that and allow the team to just really barrel through a lane. Gives lots of sustain, extra damage too, so they're getting rid of her. But I can't wait to see what Rutsu is able to pull off with Kerrigan again. Because he played her now in every single qualifier, I believe, and it was always a blast. Zagara gets banned too. That's a hero that Dino played now on Dragonshire and on Braxis multiple times. And since we're starting to get a bit later into the game, if you have push power against the Vikings in particular, and you're taking control of Sky Temple, this would be a pretty good choice. So while Dino doesn't always have the best success with his Zagara picks, it can still be a terrifying pick against you. And boy, talking about terrifying picks, Varian Stukov now? Really? Varian Stukov, Kerrigan, Dehaka. Are you kidding me? Yeah, that is an absolute brutal sniper composition. They need one good damage dealer from Dino that can bring in some burst, and then whoever gets taunted it has a massive problem with the hand. Medivh is the only savior here. Medivh could save the day if he himself does not get targeted. And Svamgrotta is a great Medivh player. But that is rough. I don't envy the red team at all. It's going to be a tough game for them no matter what happens here. So, with this, we have Dino as the final pick for the final map in this best of 3 series here at the winner bracket final. Sky Temple, everybody. Sky Temple is the map, and our final pick for Dino is Phoenix. Phoenix goes brrr. So, might even see a cracker here. I'm not even kidding. That CC chain is going to be so long, you could definitely pull that off. Either way, let's go. Final map in the series. The Raiders going up against the Saboteurs. Game number 3, the final map in the series, everybody. And off we go. On the left side, we have in blue, Team Saboteurs. With Hazops on the Haka, Dino and Phoenix, Bad Benny playing Varian, Yazon, Stukov, and Rutsu on the Queen of Blades. Over to the right side of the map, the Raiders with Nano and Cassia. We got Ixia on Malfurion. We currently have Svamgrota on Medivh. I mean, again, he's going to be absolutely key for them. Johan on Murden and Sven on the Vikings. So, here we go. What can they pull off with this? What are we going to get here? That's the big question right now. Already the hits are coming. They're trying to go for Varian for just a second. Alright. It's a full-out brawl here in the middle of the map, with the Vikings, of course, going to the side and doing their thing over there. But yeah, either way, all about getting a couple of globe talents for the Vikings right now. Medivh, by the way, just like stacking like a madman. That's one of the cool things with Svamgrota on the hero, that he is an absolute beast, and he is already showcasing exactly that. The problem is that they're having someone on the other side that is also exceptionally strong on his hero, and that is Rutsu with Kerrigan, as he proves with that first blood against Muradin. Just hoppity-hop, jumping in and absolutely crushing the opponent's team. Yeah, Dino, he got a little bit low there for just a moment, but he's still totally fine too. So we are seeing the teams just doubling up on the Siege Giants again. And apparently the red team really thinks that it's a great idea to come in here and try and take this one. Maybe. Can't steal it away. So now can they at least get out of the fight? Svamgrota, no! Svamgrota, no! Losing the stacks that he just worked for so hard. Yeah, kinda unfortunate. So, bit of an unfortunate situation for Medivh. Not really a good start for them either. Now it seems like they're gonna lose even more, and this is exactly what we were afraid of when we were looking at that draft. It is such an insane killer composition that we see from the Saboteurs, that once that they build up some momentum, it could really be a quick downfall for the Raiders. What they have to try and do is, of course, rely on the Vikings right now, rely on that 4-man, and just try to play around that, but it's going to be insanely difficult, especially now that Varian has Taunt. So this is where Varian really unleashes that combo for good, and it's not going to be easy. I mean, far from it. It's going to be incredibly difficult right now to control these fights in any way, shape or form. But alright, let's see if they can maybe pull this off, if they can do anything about this. Olaf, he gets taken down. Kerrigan, obviously ruthless as ever, is coming through with all of this. We're now looking at the same point in time at the Haka top side. They have still some globals available. Also, just talking about Phoenix a little bit, mobile offense into target acquired here, as they're playing through that, and Kerrigan is still down at the bottom of the map. Gets a little bit annoyed by Sven here with the Vikings. But there's already a taunt and a drag follow-up. They can't do too much more. Muradin, on the other hand, does not care. He just goes face. Muradin goes face, jumps in deep and does his thing. With that now, we have them trying to make a play for Cassia, but she's not the only one that gets attacked here. Cassia, on the other hand, is going to fall first. But are they going to get another kill? Doesn't seem like it. But obviously the temples are now coming up and they're trying to go for Olaf, they're trying to go for some of the Vikings. Also Muradin is still being attacked and he's not out of harm's way yet either. Gets pushed away by the Temple Guardian and gets at least that done. That helped him a bit too. They're trying to make a play for Medivh again. He doesn't have enough stacks, he's not going to be too worried about dying here. But with Muradin falling, it just means that there's more and more control being had for the Raiders on those shrines. And this is just not really a good look now. 4 kills to 0, level 7, both of the shrines controlled by the Saboteurs. Lots of shots fired, which means that structurally they're already starting to lose a lot of ground here. I mean, not only the fort in the top, but the fort in the middle might get destroyed as well, if they can push in once again. Because Phoenix is already doing a great job here. Is now rotating into the middle so that they can take over not only the shots, but maybe even get another kill there. But it's just an insane amount of damage that has been done to these structures. They've lost way too much already as is. So it's tough times for the Raiders. The Saboteurs, they're not giving them any, they're not yielding anything. Not even an inch. They're just sitting there and they're fighting for every single centimeter, every single step of the way. And it just doesn't seem like the Raiders are in a spot where they can gain that momentum. The Vikings, they need a bit more time to unfold their power here. And if the map ever opens up, then I guess they're going to be a great asset here. Maybe also in teamfights later on, particularly after 16 when Olaf gets his stun. But currently, it's them falling apart a bit. And that is just bad news. So, blue team, they might not have the absolute insane wave clear that you sometimes want, but what they have is team clear. They're clearing the other team and they're just taking them down quickly. So, camp after camp is now being taken. In experience, by the way, the Raiders are not too far behind. It's kind of interesting when you think about it. And it's really because of the Vikings. Look at the amount of minion experience that we're seeing here. That's a 4,000 experience lead now for the red team. This is the only thing that really keeps them in play right now. And even helps them to pull ahead a little bit. Because hero experience, mercenary experience is 0 for the Raiders. They got nothing. And let's not forget that with that fort that was just now taken out and the mid lane fort suffering, that passive experience is now also going to swing in favor of the Saboteurs. So this is really important to note. Without the good lane control in the Vikings, the red team would already be so far behind that it would nearly be impossible to catch up on any of this. But they're still playing this out, they're still doing their job, and they have level 10 at the same time as their opponent does. So Vikings are currently dominating the lane still. Haymaker is now being played too. So they're trying to use that as a tool as well. Vikings also going for a lot of globe stacks here, which helps them, of course, with their thingy, with their trait, the baseline. 5 kills to 0. That might be the first one for the red team. And no, yep, maybe Varian, yeah. Varian goes down, but so did Medivh, losing his stacks once again. And now they kill Malfurion. Vikings are still controlling part of that temple down at the bottom of the map. But, of course, at this point, yeah, they're losing more ground, more heroes. Nano's gonna die. They're gonna go for Sven here. They're gonna kill all of these, and then they're gonna take over on the temple. But there's only a small lead in experience. This is going to change soon, though, if they're able to take more of these towers down. And this is exactly what they are going to try and pull off now at the end of the day. With 8 kills to 1 and them getting closer to level 12 and therefore also 13. They can now easily jump in. They have the numbers advantage. Can try and go for maybe even the fort and take that out. 2 of them are now low. Yeah! Get shoved, baby! Kerrigan also jumping right after it, but they can't go for Johan, so he's trying to get out of the fight instead. And Kerrigan has now rotated over into the middle, where it means for Olaf immediately that he has to fall back himself. Muradin, yeah, might get caught here. Gets out. There's Varian coming in with a taunt, but Haymaker was ready. It's basically just a get out of my face move by Johan whenever he goes for Haymaker here. It's not even so that they're trying to isolate a hero and try and kill it. I suppose at some point it's going to come into play too. But for now it's just trying to save the day and create some space between you and Varian. So, yeah. 8 kills to 1. And the Haka still able to pull off a couple of plays here on the global side to match the Vikings. But again, I want to highlight the experience gap a bit. Look at the minion experience. This is still widening and widening and widening. It is literally the only reason why the Raiders are still in XP range, while they're not completely out of this game yet. Passive experience, more and more increasing for the Saboteurs. It's going to be more true once that they're taking additional forts down, and I think that moment will come eventually. Looking at the hit points in the middle and down at the bottom of the map. And they're also doing a lot more around these mercenary camps, as you can see here. But okay, double temple is coming up, so now with a bit more global control and the Vikings in position, you can start to take at least a few shots while you're controlling the lanes as well and get the experience there. So let's see what they can do with that. They have to really start shining a bit. Up at the top, Balog is already trying to take out this camp, which is already a bit of a struggle for him. But level 13 talents are available for both of the teams. So the attack continues, and Muradin Nah, they can go for Kerrigan maybe. Okay, nice damage, at least initially. But can... Oh, Dino. Yep, they might be able to go for him. Dino with 90 HP makes his way out of the fight. They're trying for Medivh again, and they're just chasing them all over the place. These team fights are not going any better for the Raiders. They're still struggling through them somehow, but the shots are being fired, and that means that the bottom fort is about to get destroyed. Bottom fort, one more shot is all that they're needing, and Kerrigan is unleashing combo after combo again. Comes in, tries to get the kills. Vikings again on control, but that's the end of Malfurion and therefore the end of the team in this fight. 15 stacks for Svamgrota, and he dies again, and so does Cassia. All of them are gone. Mirrodin might get caught here too. He wants the kill on Dino, and he gets it. Dino goes down. Dino is eliminated, but they kill Mirrodin for his sins. So now the Dwarf is eliminated. So is the bottom fort, by the way. And with Hazorps now taking over the remaining shots, they are taking down this one in the middle. So structurally, it is just an incredible lead that the Saboteurs are establishing. And they still have shots to be fired from 2 temples that will allow them to take even more out here. Mid lane is suffering. Bot lane has already sacrificed the tower. They were, of course, initially hoping to go for the boss, but with Dino getting killed, they decided against it. Probably for the better, honestly. And well done by Mirrodin too. I mean, yes, he died, but him sacrificing his life and trading it for Phoenix at least allowed them to deny the boss to the opponent's team. If that wouldn't have been the case, I think that boss would have been taken for sure. Keep in the middle, also destroy, well, not destroyed, but like halfway taken apart. So that's already some significant damage that they are playing around with. All the way up at the top, there's of course a double push still happening from them as well. And yeah, let's see how much more they can get. Because if they steal this camp away now as well, there's the ley line, but that's not going to be enough. The Haymaker value though. Haymaker value all day, every day. Level 16 talents that allows the Vikings to participate in these team fights a bit more. Still both teams with even talents. That's the silver lining on the horizon for the Saboteurs. But with 13 kills to 2, you see where this is going. Now, we have not a single fort left for the Raiders. I really don't know how they can bring this back. They need a team fight victory, and I don't know where it's going to be coming from. Now, maybe here. This is exactly what they need. Get that isolated kill, and they play around it. And try to play to your strengths. They go for boss immediately. This is probably one of the best situations that they can possibly get in order to claim this. And also, Leyline should be ready in case that the blue team is hoping for a bit of a push and a victory here. So if you want to have a chance, then this is exactly how you do it. Get that isolated kill and then try and push it hard. Now the blue team is already realizing that they are most likely not going to have a chance to take that boss away, so instead they push the top lane a bit out. We are 12 minutes into this game, so this should at least do some at the bottom of the map, and they're not even stopping there. They're going for the Siege Giants as well. They have the big advantage that by now the Vikings are actually teamfight ready. So they have, with level 16 and the Large in charge, finally a tool that the Vikings can use. So if they can win a fight like this, they have an opportunity. Nano, he's still firing away, hoping to soften up that wall before the boss even appears. But there's a double temple active, and you can already tell that Benny is just simply going for that because they know that they're going to win the game if they're just taking temples. All they got to do is take these shots. So I think the Raiders might actually try and go for game here. I don't know how desperate they are. If they're desperate enough, they might go for game here. Because the first keep is now gone. Keep at the top is now attacked from 2 temples. And I think the only chance that the Raiders have in order to win the game is go for it right now. They're losing... I mean, maybe I'm too pessimistic here. But this might be an opportunity if they can just get that kill. And they're looking for their connect with Olaf. They're looking for it right now. Their Siege Giants as catapults. The core might take some damage on this. But they're falling back as they're realizing it's just not happening. And the Vikings have already made their way over towards some of those temples to get at least a few of them. But it doesn't change the fact that they're gonna be having a very hard time here. Yep, up at the top, Vikings will have to deal with this one as well. They already used their ult to get the rest of them back into the game. 13 kills to 3, half a level behind only. But again, these shots are devastating to them. Because that top side keep is likely gonna fall. and then they are only relying on a single keep at the bottom of the map, and that is just not going to be enough for them to handle this. So yeah, as is, Eric is down. They're taking still a few of their camps here, all the way up at the top. Kerrigan has now taken all the shots, and by now the shots are focusing on the only remaining keep down at the bottom of the map. So a teamfight victory and then going for core is the Raiders' only chance. If they're waiting for the next set of objectives to spawn, yeah, it's just not happening. They have to go for a bit of a Hail Mary, and you have to throw that in a team fight eventually. Now, they will try and get to level 20 before they do that, since they don't want to fight into Storm Talons, of course. Look at the minion experience difference, by the way. 11,000! And they're still half a level behind. The passive experience increase, thanks to all the structures that were destroyed in favor of the Saboteurs, is insane. So is the hero experience. With 14 kills to 3, they're 7,000 experience points ahead here. This is crazy. But yeah, the minion experience is just bananas. Okay, so they're waiting for level 20, and then they have to make their move. Then they gotta make their play. So, time to shine. Let's get that YOLO move going. Solo YOLO, baby. At some point, you gotta make a play here. Can they, though? That's the question. They got level 20. That gives us also... They went for Astral Communion here, too. Astral Communion and Rewind. Altar at the bottom of the map. Temple. What do you want to call it here? But yeah, let's see what they can pull off with this. Balog is already gone, so he's eliminated. We still have the Vikings sitting tight at the bot lane as well. And with that, again, you need that team fight. You need to find an opening. You need to do something. You can't just lose the final structures here. You can maybe delay for boss and then throw your Hail Mary at the boss with 1 minute and 20 seconds. That's still an option. Damage output, just to give you guys a bit of an idea here. We have 55,000 for Cassia, 54,000 for Phoenix. Dehaka is, of course, pushing the top lane out now. And the temple is activating with 10 seconds down at the bottom of the map. So, yeah. Push in the middle, trying to go for the Vikings again. Stormbolt missed, but so did Kerrigan's combo. Leyline connects with 2. Medivh is cheating, and they're trying to go for Stukov. That would be a good kill. That would be a great kill, and they get it. They take Stukov down, but Cassia dies. One team without sustain, the other team losing one of their main damage dealers. Vikings are slowly dying. All of them are actually gone. That's actually not quite true. They still have Olaf, but he dies as well. Yep, it's bad news. 23 seconds for the boss to be back up on the map. Cassia is missing. Stukov is missing. Kerrigan is taking some of the shots at the bottom of the map, and the keep gets attacked immediately. Varian is here for it as well. And boy, oh boy, they are in real trouble. Especially with Phoenix now focusing on the Bruiser camp at the top left. So once that they take that, it's going to be even more lane pressure. But you can see that the core itself is already getting attacked with this temple. So that's another problem that they're facing. The keep at the bottom of the map is now gone, and now it's time to attack the core. The shield is slowly falling there, and just look at the minimap. There's catapults on the mid and the top lane that are both pushing for core. So what are you going to do here? Yeah, the shots alone. The core is already taking damage from the shots alone, and now it's Winion time. Winions, baby! Catapults galore, and the core is down to 51%. 51% on the core. Just from that alone. Boss is up. Red team needs to fight for boss. It's a shitty spot to fight for, especially in their situation. But what else are you going to do? I mean, seriously, what else are you going to do? You have to take a team fight. It is the only possible way to turn this game around. Force a team fight, win it, and then go core. It's all that you can do. You have nothing else. There's a double temple coming up next, and if your opponent just gets one, it's over. If they get the boss, it's over. If you just play the slow game and catapults get on the core, it's over. You can't do any of this. They gotta go for the Hail Mary, and that's what they do. They go for the boss here. They know it's a shitty spot to fight in, and they know they're also going to be in trouble here. But what else are you going to do? You can't do anything. Maybe you get lucky. And well, they don't. They lose Muradin, they lose Malfurion, and therefore they lose the game. But I do not blame them for that decision whatsoever. It's literally the only thing that made sense here. It's the only chance they have. They tried it, didn't work out. but at least they had a chance this way. So Belo goes down, Medivh is gonna fall with the 16 stacks that he has. The team is pretty much wiped off the map, and they're going for the full 5-man team wipe. And that is game. The Saboteurs, ladies and gentlemen, are making it once again to the grand final, and they sent the Raiders into the losers bracket, where they of course will have another chance to reach the grand final and possibly get revenge. But for now, the Saboteurs, they claim victory with a 2-1 score. GG.